Hi everyone, welcome to New Diamond Training number 3. You guys, we have one more after this, and so yeah. Just want to make sure that you guys don't have any questions from last week's assignment, and it was on controlling the controllables. That was your call to action, was listing 5 to 8 things that you can control, and making sure you spend your time on that first, rather than worrying and fretting and just losing all that energy over the things you can't control. Controlling the controllable is huge. And it's so hard for me to but I want to control that. But like I said, think of how hard it is to change yourself, and you'll realize what little chance you have in changing someone else. With that said, you guys, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started with the New Diamond Training number 3. And this is about duplication. Leadership is about duplication. How many of you have ever thought, oh my gosh, I just have the crappiest team ever. If they were like me, then I'd have this amazing team and we would blow this company out of the water. Michelle Myers, she's one of the top coaches, and she was at NLC, and she's like, how many of you ever thought, oh, my team just sucks? I'm sure we've all thought that. But you guys, leadership really is about duplicating yourself. A huge thing is, as you become diamond, 1-star, 5-star, 10-star, 15-star, you aren't going to have enough time to help all these people. So you've got to be, you've got to duplicate yourself so that you have enough time to, do your own business, and then just, yes, you have to duplicate yourself. So that is key. With duplication, you won't be able to duplicate yourself if you are the kind of leader who just wants to have control of everything. You have got to stop thinking that you're the only one who can do things, all right, because you're not. But I know that's kind of hard. When I first started duplicating things, I'm like, but they're not going to do it as good as I'll do it. I don't want to delegate that to them because I would do it so much better. But you've got to stop thinking that. That's a good way for you to find out what your team's strengths are, what their weaknesses are, and just to build your team to help duplicate yourself. Delegation builds leadership on your team. It also builds trust, and it expresses confidence in that person you're delegating to. We're all here, and we all want to feel needed. We all want to feel wanted. So if you are delegating something to a team member, they're feeling needed, like, oh my heavens, I am actually a part of this team. They need me. So you guys, that is your first call to action. Your first call to action is to find someone on your team that you feel comfortable in delegating something to, and do that. Delegate it to them, and then kind of let go of the reins. What I want you to for sure make sure to do is to make sure that you have clear expectations of what you want them to do, so that they're not having to read your mind, you're not having to read their minds. Set clear expectations of what you need done or what you want done, and then just kind of give them the reins. Give them an idea of what you're thinking, but just let them go with it. All right. Let's see. Focus on your teaching skills. So I love the saying that says, give a man a fish, feed him for a day. Teach a man a fish, feed him for a lifetime. So if you're teaching them how to do something, then they're going to be able to do it for the rest of their lives. Don't just do something for them. Have them learn. Have them, do it themselves, and they'll be able to learn. Make sure that you establish a follow-up system. And so if you want it done in a certain time, be like, okay, I want you to do this. We're going to follow up in, a week. If you'd have it done by then, that'd be so great. Or, I want you to do this, and send me the final draft, and I'll just look over it really quick, and we'll go from there. So just make sure there's some kind of follow-up system. And most importantly, you guys, express gratitude. So be so thankful. If you are the kind of person who, you're so thankful, you make them feel so needed and so just appreciated, then people will do anything. I remember I had this really crazy boss. This job was so stressful, and it was 24/7, and it seemed like it was just so much work, and just so much overtime, and just so much, it was really stressful. But he was the most appreciative, and he expressed his gratitude all the time. But I was willing to go the extra mile for him because I just felt so appreciated and so good. So make sure that you do not forget those. When they do something for you, when you delegate something and they do something for you, make sure you express a lot of gratitude. And yes, that will be huge. Okay, guys, the second part of this training is all about time management. Oh, how many of you were like, I wish I had more hours in the day? I'm pretty sure we all are like that. But there's only 24. You can't get more, you can't get less. There's 24 hours in the day for everybody. And so, you guys, a huge thing doing this is effectively managing your time. You are not going to be able to wing this kind of thing, especially if you've got a family, if you're working full time, if like your time is money and it's so valuable. So time management is huge. I'm going to share my screen with you for just a second. This is called the buckets training. All right. So what I want you to all do, this is your call to action number 2, is I want you to create 5 buckets. No more, no less. I want you to have 5 buckets. 2 of those buckets are for Beachbody. All right, one of those buckets is for your own personal business, and the other bucket is for your team. So, you guys, I want you to create 5 buckets, and I want you to list out what these buckets are, whether it's family time, personal time, your full-time job, whatever it is. These 3 can be anything that you want. All right, number 4 is your Beachbody, your personal, and number 5 is your Beachbody, your team. So, guys, in these buckets, I want you to list out what it is for, whether it's family time, and I want you to list out activities that are important to you that you want to make sure that you get done. So if, you want to make sure you spend a couple hours with your family, like you love to have dinner together, you love to have breakfast together, whatever it is, you love to, like watch a movie at night with you and your kids, or whatever it is, whatever family time is, maybe hiking together, going on bike rides together, whatever it is, I want you to list those activities, and I want you to list the time that you're allowing. For example, personal. If, you're like, I gotta make sure I get my personal workout in, gotta make sure I get my personal development in, gotta make sure that I just, maybe just meditate and relax about things for, like 15 or 20 minutes. I want you to put the 2 to 3 activities that you're gonna do in your personal, and then the amount of time you're allowed to this bucket. All right, same with 3, 4, you reach on personal. Now remember that you're diamonds right now, and you should be doing 80% of your time to your personal business on like recruiting and sales. So 80% of your time should be going to your business alone, mostly in recruiting. And then 20% of your time will be for managing your team. All right. Now, the most important thing ever in this training is, and in these buckets are, you do not want to let these buckets spill over into each other. Like these buckets, they've got a big, huge line in between them, and they cannot spill. So your personal time can't spill over into, your family time, or your family time can't spill over into your Beachbody time. I have some coaches that are like, my husband's loved this training. And so, yes, you guys, because I'm pretty sure that so many of you probably feel like you do Beachbody 24/7, that you just can't ever stop doing it, and that your family probably feels it, your husband probably feels it, whatever, your friends, your boyfriend, your significant other. So make those buckets, and most importantly, do not let them spill into each other. All right. I'm gonna stop sharing. So you guys, so that's your second call to action. That I want you to do that on these trainings, and I want you to post your buckets in the group. All right, on the group page, be like, these are my buckets, these are my activities, and these are the time that I'm allowing. And it was so funny. One of my diamonds from last group's training, she said, Lacey, I gave this to my coach because my coach wants me to like eat, breathe, and sleep Beachbody 24/7. And she says, I'm going to burn out if I do that. And so that's so true, you guys. You will burn out if Beachbody is your whole life and you just don't do anything else, then you will burn out. So keep it organized, keep it in real, keep it in line, and just do those buckets as they need, or just write them out and then follow what you've written. Okay, all right, you guys. The next thing I want to talk to you about is RSVP. This is a great way to know how to spend your time. It's called RSVP. R stands for recruiting. All right, so with your time, the majority of your time is spent recruiting. Like I said, 80% of your time is spent on like recruiting and sales, especially when you're a diamond. Bonnie Engel, she's number 5 in the company. She's a 15-star, and she said, you know what? She goes, I still spend 70% of my time on my own business, on recruiting and sales. She said, I only spend about 30% of my time on managing my team. So you guys, that's huge. I cannot even imagine, like she's got this ginormous team, but she still spends 70% of her time on recruiting, because the new life the new life, so the new people are the new blood, the new life of the business. So as you're bringing those new people, it's like bringing in new blood, and just kind of give you a breath of fresh air. So 80% of your time should be focused on recruiting. And you guys, I like to compare recruiting to a tree, or just compare what you should be doing to a tree. So for example, you've got this big old huge tree. The roots of this tree are recruiting. All right. So those roots have got to be strong. All right. The roots of the tree are recruiting. The branches of the tree are all your different coaches. And then the fruit of the tree is like your recognition. You're moving up in ranks, you're going to team ladder, you're from business builder to team ladder, or just going up the team ladder to team leader, to all that kind of stuff, to, being just anything you can be recognized for, So that's the fruit of the tree. If you don't have strong roots, which are recruiting, then when those storms come and the wind, shakes off the trees enough, shakes off the branches and off the fruit, then if those roots aren't strong, that tree is going to fall over. And so you guys make sure that your roots of the tree are very, very strong, which the roots are going to be the recruiting and bringing more people in and new people in, recruiting. So that's for RSVP, that's the R. The R is recruiting. The S is for sales, all right? Where you're doing challenge packs, where you're doing Shakeology Home Direct, just anything to do with sales. Recruiting and sales are huge. That should be where you're spending most of your time. Number 3, so the V is for the very new people. So those very new people that you're bringing in, you're going to need to spend more time with them than you spend with, someone that you've brought in before, where they've all gone through all the process. Huge thing you need to have set up in the beginning is your Coach Basics program. Every single coach that you bring in needs to go through some kind of training, whether it's the Coach Basics in the back office, or if it's the Coach Basics that you've made up, or the Coach Basics that your upline has brought up. Every single new person needs to be put through Coach Basics so they can know what they're doing. So yes, so you guys, where you should be spending the majority of your time, R, recruiting, S, sales, V, very new people, and then the P is your performers. You guys, you're going to find out in this business that you have a lot of people that say, I want to be 1-star, I want to be 5-star elite, I want to do this, I want to do that, I'm going to do this and that. My challenge group's going to have, at least 50 people in it. You're going to find so many people that talk, but they don't walk the walk. And so you want to spend the majority of your time with the people who are performing, all right? You want those people who are doing what they say they're doing, You want those people who say, I'm going to invite 10 people a day. You want those people who say they're going to do it and who actually do it. A lot of times, people just, they come up with excuses as to why they don't do things. But just like I said, everyone only has 24 hours in the day, and you have to know if they are committed to this or if they're just interested. Because if they're committed, they will make the time to do the things that they need to do in order to make this business grow. If they are just interested in the business, then they'll do things when it's convenient for them. So the performers are the ones who are committed, who they will do whatever they need to do in order to make things go. So RSVP stands for recruiting, sales, very new people, and performers. All right. And you guys, sometimes if you've got some people in your group who just aren't performers, but they want to take up a lot of your time, then, sit down with them and just very nicely just explain, like, okay, I've got to be focusing on different things, but hey, let's set some goals for you. And when you reach these, then let's talk again. That's what we do with coaches all the time. We have all these coaches who want a lot of our time, and they tell us they're going to do this and this and this and this and this. And then the next time we meet with them, they're like, well, I didn't get that done or that done or that done. And they have all these excuses. And so we always say, all right, we want you to come up with different goals, and then I'm going to hold you accountable to them. So say, for example, they're like, all right, I'm going to get 3 new coaches this month, or I'm going to invite out, 100 people this month, whatever. Have them set the goals and then say, all right, when you've reached these, then let's talk again. So that way they kind of they feel like it's the ball's in their court and they've got to deliver on what they promised, and they're just kind of being held accountable. So they're actually holding themselves accountable, but you are too. But they've made up what they're holding themselves accountable to. So that's a huge thing, you guys. Make them just feel accountable. Okay, so, you guys, there are a ton of video trainings from from so many of the top coaches. So if there's something that you are not sure on, then Google it. Google a video on YouTube. There will be a video that will show you. And so you guys, you'll learn as you develop more and more of members of your team that you're not going to have time to train everyone on something. So if you find that there's a question that you're getting asked a lot on, then you make a little video. Make a little video, because if you're going to ask the same question again and again and again, and you're having to say it again and again and again, then you know what? The quality of the way you say it goes down, 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 because you're so sick of saying the same answer. You might leave out a little part here, a little part there. Where in the beginning, when you were being asked that question and you were just way more profound on it and you explain it a lot better, but as you do the same thing over and over and over again, it's probably going to get less quality. So, you guys, I want you to make a video of yourself doing some kind of training, just so that if there's a question you've been asked a lot on, then the people who you continue to bring in, they're going to probably ask the same question. Instead of you having to take the time to explain it to them, then you can say, oh, check out my YouTube video named so-and-so. It'll explain. And even if you find one from a different coach, if you don't have any videos right now and you just have one from a top coach, just be like, oh, you know what? It would be so much easier if I just sent you this video and then we'll talk afterwards if you have any questions. So making videos frees up a ton of your time. If you see Melanie Mitro, her YouTube channel, it is just completely jam-packed full of videos, because she has a huge team now, and so she can't take the time to individually train, so she just points them into the direction. Oh, here's this video for this. Here's that video for that. So make a video, you guys. That's your call to action number 3. So the first one is, what is the first one? Oh, yes, delegating something to your team. Second one is making your buckets list. So I want them to have 5 buckets. 2 of those buckets are beach body buckets. One's for your own business, and the other one is for your team. And call to action number 3 is make a video on something that you've been asked about a lot. So make it like a short little training on something that you've been asked a lot, all right? And post these all to the group, all right? They will help you, like if you're not comfortable making videos, then it'll help you step outside your comfort zone, because as you become more and more and more, as you become more and more and more involved with your team, or just have a bigger team, you're not going to have enough time to teach these people. All right. So with that said, you guys, thank you so much for joining, and I will see you guys next week. Next week is the last training. All right. Last training and you're done. So everyone have a great day and make sure to do your call to actions. Okay. Bye.